Hi, my name is Gavin Farrington. I'm a wedding photographer in Northern California, and I also run ProtogTech.com. So, now that you've got Lightroom 6, you're probably excited to try out some of the new features. One of them is building panos right in Lightroom, and even better than just being able to stitch a pano without Photoshop is that it does it in the DNG RAW format. So, I've deliberately left the white balance a little bit wacky on this set of images just so that you could see that I don't have to worry about it beforehand anymore. It's very simple to make a panorama. Just simply select the images you want to work with, right-click, photo merge, panorama. It'll open this box that where it builds a preview for you. In fact, I'll stretch this out some so we can see a little bit more easily. And I'll pause it while I wait for this progress meter because I don't want to waste your time, so I'll be right back. Well, you can see it was a good thing I stretched that window out because it totally filled the preview window, but anyhow. Here we go. So we can see that the stitch is going to be fine. I just left everything on auto. You can choose one of these options if you find that you're not getting the results that you want. Probably worth mentioning, there's no way at the time that I'm recording this with the release of Lightroom 6.0, there's no way to do any kind of manual hinting. So if Lightroom won't stitch the image, you're going to have to look at a solution like taking it into Photoshop, although I find that Photoshop is occasionally not even perfect. So if you have a series of images that are really difficult to stitch, go look for the open source tool called Hugin, H-U-G-I-N, and that ought to be able to get you there. It's a little more complicated to use, but I find that generally it can stitch things that other applications can't. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit the merge button. You'll see that basically nothing happens right away. Lightroom adds this progress meter up here. If I had multiple panels to work on, I could then go ahead and select those and get them all queued up so that it's working on them all at once. This is a very RAM intensive operation, so if you have a RAM limited machine, you may not want to do a whole lot of images all at once. I've heard reports of machines grinding to a halt when there's too many pano merges going on. But for example, in this machine I've got 32 gigs of RAM. I wouldn't have a problem running a handful of them at a time, I don't think. So I'm going to pause while we wait for that again so I don't waste your time, and I'll be right back. Okay, you can see that the process is finished. Here is that pano fully stitched. It's not quite rotated correctly, but that's easy enough to fix. We can just pop into the develop module as that loads up. You can see that it auto-cropped it for us. I'm going to change this a little bit, pull this a little bit out like this, unlock my crop tool. And of course you could take this into Photoshop. Everywhere that you see the white around the edges there is actually transparent. You could take you could use some of the fill tools there to fix that. Notice that this is a raw DNG file still. So we have full white balance control, full exposure control. We can still do highlight recovery just like we could before. So that's pretty cool. All right, enjoy.